Alright, folks, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that Eternal Evolution is out. Eternal Evolution is a new gacha game in the vein of Infinite Magic Raid or Raid Shadow Legends or a host of others. This is the first time I'm playing it, other than a couple of minutes on iOS back a few days ago, so I kind of wanted to give my first impressions as I go through. I imagine I'll be in some sort of tutorial mode, so I'll get limited understanding of the game, but one thing I do like about this game is I think it's a sci-fi game, whereas most gachas have a fantasy kind of approach with sort of medieval warriors and magic users. Uh, Eternal Evolution is a little bit different. And as we come in, flying in on our spaceship, right, good cinematics so far. I like it. Mobile games have really progressed over the last few years from relatively simple graphics into some... Ooh, and it looks like the area we were going to land is actually a monster. Ooh, and he blew up our ship. That can't be good. Let's see where this leads. All right, Serena. Improbable armor on Serena, but I do like the glasses. Kind of have I don't know, like a compound eye from a bee or something. Are you okay? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the fiction for this. The Evo Legion has taken our drive core key. All right, so I guess the Evo Legion we're setting up to be the big baddies. It was Torx. He should still be nearby. Apparently I'm hurt, but I think I'll survive. Looks like 3 helpers come in. I predict this is going to show some kind of combat, just to kind of get the game mechanics at least showing off at the beginning of what we can expect as we go on. Seems the Torx were waiting here for a long time. The plan to restart the giant tower has been exposed. When are the Terrans going to get their house in order? It's kind of an interesting guy. I think he's supposed to be a bird guy with kind of an odd helmet going on there. We need to defeat Torx and get the drive core key. If we fail, we fail. All right. So it looks like we've got a group of 3. Very good detail on the models. Of course, I'm playing it on a PC with an emulator going, so we kind of expect that. But this is 2.5K resolution, and it looks quite good. All right, so that must be Serena. So she does a heal. She gets kind of some angel wings. That's cool. The boss summons. That's an interesting mechanic. I don't know that I've seen that a lot in other games. I mean, certainly, certainly things like the spider in Raid Shadow Legends, but it just looks a little bit different. I think it looks cool. And then, okay, it's a talking rock guy. Emma. She's got kind of a massive pair of headphones on. I don't know how practical that is, but maybe she needs that for an antenna. Has Otis taught you any manners? Will teach you the meaning of overconfidence. And then Crete. So he's kind of a minotaur-looking guy. Big and bulky. Looks like he's got a giant hammer kind of thing that he wields. Okay? So it's kind of a combination of, it's got some sci-fi, which again, I really like this idea of sci-fi. I think we've explored the medieval settings quite a bit. Though I do wonder, in sci-fi, would we really be swinging hammers? But, it's a game, so I'll go along with the fiction. But I can't think of any other big games that have like spaceships and laser guns and all that, and traveling to different worlds. So I think it's going to be, it's cool to start. It's a good combat, good boss fight. Looks like positioning may matter in this game a little bit, whereas like Infinite Magic Raid, positioning is not an important factor, but we'll see. And it looks like we beat that guy, who must be Torx. All right, we may be allies, but maybe we're sort of setting up some rivalries here. And I don't care that much about the fiction. I probably should, but all right. Hope looks like a little drone guy. I wonder if he's our helper. Commander, watch out. Oh, it's like a little one. So he kind of escaped, or maybe he was a big one. I don't know. Maybe the scaling is just off. Oh, it's the rock bridge line. Seems like we're not done. Torx minions still roam the outskirts of the giant tower. All right, so Serena is going to leave us. Situation there requires she's giving us a couple of helpers to mop up the perimeter and restart the giant tower. So I think now we're in the tutorial proper. You can tell because if you try to click anywhere else, it gives you this sort of dire, please follow the instructions warning. So I guess we will do that. So we'll go to Story Instance Challenge. This is where we pick the heroes that we want. All right, so we'll pick these two and let's fight. Well, it's not going to let me do anything else right now, so I'll just click Challenge, which starts the fight. Again, really impressive detail on the combat. Sorry, kill gives us, it looked like it gave us 50 energy. So I assume that is the lower bar here. We'll see if we can't figure that as we go along. All right. We discovered Woodpecker. So this is a little robot guy. Bullet time. Fires 4 waves of bullets, each inflicting 20% of ATK damage on enemies within a frontal cone area. And as we level up our heroes, we get additional capabilities out of these. What's this A2? Shoot the enemy twice, each dealing 80% DMG. Increases the DMG of each shot to 88%. And then at level 3, increases it to 96. Okay, so far this is fairly standard, right? So if you've played any gacha games, you're probably used to this kind of approach. This reminds me a little bit of AFK Arena. All right, so we're going to go ahead. And sir, I've managed to fix the woodpecker. I'm sure it will serve you well in battle. Okay, so it's our next hero. I can still smell gunpowder. Let's deploy the woodpecker and get a taste of the power. All right, so here... I can already see, so these two blues, green, so I suspect the game is going to use this sort of traditional color scheme where green is, you call it like a 2-star, blue is probably a 3-star, so my guess is there a purple, and then maybe there's a yellow above that, and then maybe even a color beyond that. So anyway, Woodpecker's energy skill can deal massive damage to enemies in a fan-shaped area. So energy skill probably means ultimate skill. Deploy in the middle row so that its energy skill can hit more enemies. Okay, so it does look like positioning matters in this game. I appreciate that. I think it gives another dimension to tactical combat. So we'll move the Woodpecker up, and we'll go ahead and challenge. Hopefully this gets taken care of by auto, because I'm not going to love the game if I have to sit here and click stuff, right? I think most of these games have a manual and an automatic mode. Manual is when you're really having a tough time getting through some combat, and automatic is what you want to play most of the time through, unless you want to get extreme carpal tunnel, and it also gets kind of boring to click the buttons over and over again. Sir, we'll need surprise to prepare for the upcoming battle. If we can fix the interior of the Falcon, so that must be the ship that we crash landed. So we need to fix that. I'll be able to open up the supply depot. Okay, I'm not sure what that means yet. It's only going to get harder. Make sure you keep your spirits high for the battle ahead, Commander. Well, good thing it is a game, so my spirits are by definition high as we play. All right, so it's telling me I got to go back and play some more. So... this is fairly common in most of these games, is the tutorial I think sometimes goes on a little bit too long. Like, I'm in manual mode, I'm just clicking stuff as it happens. The fights are, like, I don't think I could lose this fight if I tried. I think it's going to make me do a few of these. I should start looking and see what some of this loot is as we get it. Okay, what is this? Good news, we have finished repairs on the Grey Falcon's interior. I'm reconnecting the supply depot. Just wait a little longer. Not sure what that means. So let's do the challenge, and maybe let's start taking a look at the loot that drops. There's usually a bunch of different types of consumables that you need in order to buy upgrades for your characters, whether it's levels or skills or there's probably also loot. So let's take a look. What are these little gems? Soul Rubelite consumables required to advance hero. All right, so this is one of the consumables we need to get stronger. It's purple, which means it's probably relatively rare, so we should keep track of these. Hero EXP used to level up heroes. Okay, so there has to be some relationship between these, and these. And then this looks like coins that we can use, upgrade hero, enhance equipment, buy items. Okay, so far fairly similar, and if you've played any of these type of gacha games, it's probably going to feel similar as well. We are now connected to the loot cache. Tap it to collect its resources. All right, so we're collecting a certain amount of coin, a certain amount of EXP, and a certain amount of this soul rubelite. Okay, so this is very derivative of other games that have this idle mechanic. AFK Arena comes to mind. I think Infinite Magic Raid has some of this, and there are others. Use resources in the loot cache to enhance your CP. If I try to click on CP, it tells me to just follow the instructions. I'm going to guess CP is combat power, something similar. In other words, a measure of how strong your group is. All right, so let's go here. Okay, so this is a list of the heroes. Kind of an interesting form factor on the graphics. I think I like it. I haven't seen this one before. What is the... it's not going to let me. Please follow the instructions. But I see this is probably different factions. Gallery is presumably will show me everything that I've got. But it wants me to make Hope better. Let's try upgrading Woodpecker. Okay. So I get him to level 8. He can go as high as 119. That's probably the limit. Yeah, so he's rare. It's probably the limit he can get to. Equip the hero with gear to make them stronger. Okay, so he has a gun, and now it's going to force me to back out. And it's going to force me to back out. And again, this is kind of where I think, like, I don't know. I feel like this could go quicker, although there's that auto button at the top. I don't know what that does, and I don't think it's going to be... I don't want to do that until I've gone through this once. Maybe it goes through the whole tutorial a time, which would be really cool, by the way, if that's what it did. Alright, so Woodpecker kind of blew that stuff up, so level up heroes, coin. Alright, so this is just the same stuff we got before. Sir, you have completed a story stage mission. Tap the lower right corner to receive the story stage rewards. Stage 1, reboot the giant tower. Collect main stage. Okay, so I'm going to get some of these. Diamond, a rare currency. Okay, so most games have this kind of idea. I suspect that's what this is. These are gems that we can use to, whether it's reset shops or you get enough of them, you can buy additional heroes, or there's usually some kind of shop that you can convert these into items. So I'm going to guess that's good. Sir, we found tracks of the Rock Ridge Lion. Okay. Initiating a scan around the giant tower. All right, so we've kind of got this map here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stages in chapter 1. It's pointing us at the final stage. Found it. And this is very linear, so I think that's one of the reasons that these games have story for atmosphere, and I like story. I do some videos from time to time. I like to create little backstories for my team, and sometimes I'll make a video that goes through a piece of the game, but from the backstory. But I kind of wish there was more like a branching narrative that some of these games had available. I think that would be cool. We call them RPGs, and they are in a sense, but the story is the missing part of the RPG. I think if somebody found a way to get both story and the excellent gameplay that these games often have, I think, wow, that would be really something cool. Alright, so this is the Rock Ridge Lion. It looks very similar to the boss we beat originally. What is this? Okay, so if I click on that, I get a breakdown of my team, their attack, defense, hit points, critical damage reduction, critical rate. ACC, that's got to be accuracy. I'll have to see exactly what that does. Oftentimes that's how you get through armor, resistances, and damage reduction. Hero stats, commander stats, divine prototype stats. So presumably at some point in the game we'll unlock a commander who will allow us to have additional stats over here, and maybe even get to level up that commander or replace them. That would be pretty cool. Divine prototype, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to guess it's the same thing. Another part of the design space that they have that as you progress in the game, you can make your heroes stronger. Although I suspect as much fun as I'm having with these 3 right now, my guess is these eventually become some sort of food, as we're going to want to use purple and I'm assuming yellow, maybe red, maybe both, as higher level heroes. Alright, so let's go ahead and challenge. Takes us over to the combat. The rock ridge line pops out of the ground, and we've got to start attacking. Ooh, again, I like this mechanic. Ooh, what's this? Tap the hero avatar and hold. Move your finger to adjust the cast position. Well, I'm playing on an emulator, so I'm not holding my finger anywhere. So I'm hoping the mouse works. I'd be really shocked if it didn't. So, yeah, okay. So I want to see, can I get... All right, so when I move it, the monsters that it is going to hit, highlight, can I get everything? I can, so I want to aim just in that direction. And I wonder, this is an area, I wonder if this is a kind of a place that you want, let me get these guys to do their ultimates, or their energy attacks, I think is what I called it, right? In other words, I wonder when you go auto, how smart is the woodpecker at attacking the correct enemies, or what is his algorithms? Does he try automatically to get everything, or is he just cool with whatever happens to be near him? I guess we'll try to find out. So we continue. Oh, the Rock Ridge Lion. He runs away. Okay, that's kind of cool. So we got some new stuff. What do we have here? Machinist armor, defense 8. Soldiers have reported that tungsten shards improve the mobility. Armor utility report. I guess that's what this is, the armor utility report, because I can't click on it. And then what is this? Recruitment card. Material used in basic recruitment and novice recruitment to recruit heroes. Okay, so this is the most likely the mechanic where we get additional heroes, and we have some chance of getting great heroes and some chance of getting heroes that we'll just use presumably to feed into others. Leveling up heroes and coin again. Alright, so we completed main stage 1-6, and we get an achievement for that. Congratulations, sir. You have defeated the Evo Legion in the Giant Tower's outskirts. Our next step is to head back to base and restart the tower. What does that mean? Tap on the Giant Tower icon to return to the base. Okay. Commander, we need you to activate the base core at the Giant's Tower. Please come to the reactor. I will tell you how to operate it. Alright. Is this going to be our city? I bet this is going to be our city. Tap the driver key and put it into the base reactor. Then you'll be the real ruler of the Giant Tower base. Okay. That's new. I don't know that I've been a ruler before. Okay, so it looks like we've already done a little bit of pre-construction, but now we're building the base out. Or maybe we're just activating a base that was already here. So a nice little cutscene. Which is something I think, you know, it's just a little bit of a step forward. I know other games have cutscenes, but I think they're cool. You know, like I said, a lot of times the story in these games isn't fantastic, but, you know, I do find it interesting to build a little story as I go. So here I am at the Central Hub. Now, why do we call it Central Hub and Giant's Tower? I'm not sure. Anyway, Commander, we have signal access to the light gap. I don't know what that means. Would be helpful if these... Anywhere where they use these sort of proper nouns, if they had some kind of glossary we could look up, because they kind of assume you know what it is, and maybe I should, maybe they've already told me what the light gap is and I've already forgotten. I guess that's possible. Old Bailey, where is the recruitment module? That's me? Okay, well I didn't get to, or is this Old Bailey? This must be Old Bailey. I was just saying, because they didn't give me a chance to pick myself, so that would be a bold choice. I mean, that's a pretty cool character, but I think this is Old Bailey. Okay. Bailey says, already installed, you can now start recruiting heroes. Okay. Central Hub, the core building in the Giant Tower. So I'm going to tap that, and I get... What happens? A little cutscene animation. Here comes some kind of flying machine. Ah, okay, so here comes my recruitment center. Okay, cool. And a nice, cool animation. I like that. Again, I think it just adds a little bit of... It's not important for gameplay, right? And it's probably only going to happen once. But I think it's cool. It's a little immersive. This is my base recruitment center unlocked. The recruitment module has been fully charged. You can now head to the recruitment center. Again, it looks like I should be able to tap on this, but Hope just gets angry at me and I need to go click on the recruitment center. All right. And I got that purple card from defeating stage 1.6, so let me click on that. And what do I get? All right, so I get a little animation. I can see the skip button will probably come into play about the billionth time I do this, since these games often have a lot of summoning. I'll have to remember to call it recruiting. Oisa, Light Warden. I don't know. So that's her name, Light Warden. Is that a class? Is that a unique identifier? I guess we'll find out. And so she is, again, purple, elite. And so she gets one more skill than the rares do. Very cool. Light of Heaven. Oisha summons a bolt of divine light from the sky to strike enemies, inflicting 330% defense as damage and has a 70% chance to stun. Alright, so she's a defense kind of support hero, and her damage output gets stronger as I continue to invest resources in her. Waves her weapon in arc, dealing defense damage. Okay. Lifts a shield for increased defense and immunity to control effects. Okay. And then her passive, when affecting an enemy with CC. Again, so I think one of the things that this game is doing that other games have done, and I think they need to be careful, when affecting an energy with CC, that makes the assumption that I know what CC is. And I don't know if I do know what CC is, but it recharges her shield and she gains damage reduction for 3 seconds. Now, is one of these things called CC? Shield of Light, Light Impact, Light of Heaven. It's not. So now I gotta go figure out, like, CC in other games means crowd control, but I don't know if what that means here. It would be really nice if I could click it and go to some kind of a glossary. So far I haven't seen a glossary. I'm not sure if there is one. Alright, so using recruitment 21 times will guarantee one elite hero. This is where I can recruit with gems. I don't have any gems. So there's some kind of pity mechanic in here. That's good. Pity mechanics are interesting. They make it kind of difficult, though, to figure out what your chances of getting a hero over the long term. But they do work in the favor of the player, so I am a fan. Alright, yes, Bailey's back, needs my help. The latest data from Omar doesn't look right. I'm afraid there is some kind of connection to Otis. Well, I'm not sure who Omar is. I'm not sure I know who Otis is. Maybe I should know who Otis is. Again, I really would like some kind of glossary here. I need you to go to the Wastelands, locate Omar, and find out what happened to it. Okay. Commander, there's no time to lose. Let's go to the Badlands and search for the War God quickly. Is that Omar, the War God? Okay. Story instance. Okay, so this is a story instance, so this is something different than what we were doing. An elite tank with... Oh, yeah, of course. This is... I've already forgotten the name. Oisa, I think? Tank hero can protect your team better when deployed in the front row. Of course, let me put her up front. Do I need to... Oh, it's not going to let me. I do wish these tutorials were a little less locked in the, you know, they kind of force you to do only what they want you to do. It doesn't allow me to sort of play around with, you know, maybe I want to level up my heroes. Maybe I want to, you know, change the order of them. But I think they lock you in to make sure that you progress. Because I think, like, I don't even have to do my ultimates here, and I'll win. But we'll do them. All right, so more of the sort of standard gear. And we'll challenge here. Oh, okay. Now we're cooking. Auto. I was hoping that was going to come soon. All right, let's just take a look at the screen. Use the switch below to choose between auto, manual, energy skill. Ooh, I like this. I like that I can select auto versus manual for any of my characters, that it's not an all or a one. I'm going to leave them all on right now, and it looks like I have 2 more spots. Okay, so Commander is a hero, a character, an officer, or something that we get, and they will have skills, presumably, that will impact the rest of the team. Very cool. At this point, it's probably not all that exciting to go through at regular speed. It's just sort of more of the same. We just kill some opponents, and then we get to a stopping point. The next challenge we're going to deal with is dangerous. Prepare the team before setting up. Okay, so this is going to tell us that we got to level some up. Good. It wants us to level up a purple. I hate to invest any resources in those blues. Upgrade the hero to level 10 to complete their advance. Long press to upgrade quickly. Well, I see a problem already is, like, it's not going to let me close this, is it? Like, I got to just keep pressing this, and I can see kind of behind it level 2, but again, you know, the game is so polished. There's little things here and there that I think they could do better, like not hide what it is I'm trying to do behind a tutorial window. Okay, and these are the rubelite. Oh, it's not going to let me click on them. We're trying to get to level 10. Waves her weapon and arc, dealing 220 defense as damage. So this is going to add a skill, because you can see kind of behind the tutorial, she's only got the one skill available. This takes some of this purple resource, these red rubelites, soul rubelites. Click advance. All right, so she went from 9 to 10. So she got more health, she got more attack, and more defense. Good. And waves her weapon and arc, dealing 220%. And then at level 20, she'll get a little bit better at it. Okay. And so now she's got 2 skills, and 2 are still locked that she'll get when she goes up levels. But I'm going to get I can continue to level her up. But okay, so I'm short on the soul rubicite, so I won't be able to get her up to level 20 until I go find some more of that. Well, the good news is we found some in the Wastelands. We know that some comes from that sort of AFK soul, or AFK and some kind of patrol. So I think we'll be able to get some. Usually, you know, the first few levels are relatively inexpensive comparatively. It's later that the gacha mechanics really start making you work for your levels up. Okay, so we'll challenge here. And again, I feel like I'm just doing kind of the same thing over and over again. I kind of want to get into the game, and I know that I'm relatively experienced at gachas, but I do feel like this whole thing could be a little bit quicker. Which, of course, again, there's the auto piece that maybe if I hit that, it would go faster. All right, so Battle Angel Serena. She's a support hero. This is going to want me to spend some money. Okay, click here. What does that do? It's loading some kind of a video. Oh, very cool. So it gives me a little preview of Serena getting that. So she's got the big hammer. I do love the outfit. It's so ridiculous. But these games, the outfits in these games are often ridiculous. So I guess it's about par for the course. Yeah, I'm going to armor everything except for, you know, a direct shot to my heart. All right. Cool, though. Cool video. I like that. And receive elite. So this is going to want me to spend some money. I'm going to get, yeah, $4.99. Well, I'm not saying I'm going to be free to play on this or not, but I'm not going to spend any money yet until I kind of understand a little bit more how the game works. A lot of time these gacha games, you end up restarting a few times to try to get a decent starting set of heroes, or you find your later progression really slow. And I don't know yet whether that's a factor here or not, so I'm not going to spend any money until I have a better idea of that. Although a lot of times if the tutorial takes too long and it takes time to get there, I don't bother. I just figure out how to fix it later. All right, recruitment card. So we got 10 recruitment cards. Okay. There's some more of that soul rubelite. Is that rubelite? Not rubicite. Okay, so we need 20 more, and we could level up Oisa again. We got a lot of recruitment orders. Hey, I just called that out. Let's go recruit more heroes to join us. All right, so we come back over to our recruiting center. We run the 10 times. Using recruitment 21 times will guarantee 1 elite. So we're not that far off from that. But let's go ahead and recruit the 10. All right, so this may be the last time I watched this particular animation, but I did want to see maybe it was any different because I did 10 at once, and it's not really. Uh, it's just going to show us, oh, I love that. The graphics are just excellent. I'm really impressed. I think it's got a very cool. Ooh, there's an elite. Although I like the motorcycle guy. So I think the graphics are really good. I think the game has a really good look. My one concern about this is I'll have to try it some more on mobile. Like I've got the advantage of a big screen in front of me, and all this just really pops. I just wonder on a small screen like a phone, as opposed to a tablet, is this stuff going to be too small? Are my big fat fingers going to have trouble clicking the right piece? So anyway, we got a bunch of blues. My guess is we won't invest much in the blues. Although, real quick, is this? That's Techie, a Fixabot. I wondered if maybe that was a duplicate of our existing robot guy. So who is this? Karma, Molten Devourer. Again, I don't know if this Molten Devourer means anything or if that's just sort of a description of Karma, but he's cool looking. You can't. That's a little frustrating. You should be able to like if I click on him, it just takes me back. But what I really would like, maybe there's another part of the game where you do that. I'd like to be able to look at him from kind of different angles and see what he looks like. But you can kind of see his little attack animation. He looks good, a lot of resolution. What are his skills? Spits a flame projectile at the target. Projectile bounces up to 5 times, dealing 110% ATK damage each time. When in fire spirit form, the bouncing ignites enemies, dealing 30% attack damage per second for 5 seconds. Okay, so he does a little bit of direct damage and then has a dot that goes along with it for a few seconds. And interesting that everything in this game seems to be based around seconds as opposed to turns, which is what I'm more used to in gacha games. So I think that's pretty cool. His A2 creates a fire trap in the area centered around the target. The trap explodes 1 second later, dealing damage to everything. If he's in fire spirit form, targets in the air receive additional damage. Okay, that's cool. What is this? Spits a blast of molten lava at the target enemy. Okay, and is this passive? Each time Karma casts a skill, he gains 4% attack for 6 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. When he stacks it 5 times, he enters fire spirit form. Okay, so in the longer combats, he goes into fire spirit form, and then starts doing extra DPK. All right, so he's an attack, kind of an AE attack type of hero. Cool. I don't have 2,700 gems. I don't have any of these cards, so I think I'm done with that. So we come back to this screen. This was Nabas. I see. We would need a different type of recruiting card, I guess, to get some of the better heroes. And what's friendship? Well, we don't have any of those, so we're not going to worry about that too much. An elite energy hero has joined us. We need to improve their combat power. All right, so that's going to be Karma. So let's level them up. Uh-oh. What was that saying? Oh, okay. So we go back to patrol rewards. This is the AFK stuff. We needed some more of these soul rubelites. So let's go ahead. I'm surprised it stopped me at level 8 and 10. All right, so this gets the fire trap. Again, this will be curious to sort of understand how smart is the AI in autoplay mode at dropping that. Builds an explosive trap. Great. Let's go ahead and let's just level them as far as it will let us go, which is not that far, only level 19. So now my 2 purples are level 19. I don't know how this game works with carry heroes. Oh, we got a duplicate guy on the chopper. I'll have to figure out what we can do with that. Usually in these type of games, you end up having a carry hero, which you make them stronger than everybody else, and they pull the rest of your team through. A defense hero here, like Awisa, doesn't seem like the right way to go there, so I think it's going to be on Karma. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen enough heroes to know, but... Alright, so let's put Karma, and it puts them in kind of back row center. So let's see. Okay. Well, everything blew up, so I guess that's good. So I'm going to just sort of fast forward through the next couple of stages here. It's pretty derivative. It's more of the same. I am seeing that my blue heroes are starting to get a little long in the tooth, but I hate to invest in them because I don't think I'm going to keep them. Fast Patrol unlocked. What is Fast Patrol? My guess is that it is a way to accelerate your AFK rewards. That's what it is in other games. Okay, more Machinist Greaves. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit again. As I mentioned before, I still feel the same way. I'm not sure this much tutorial is required. I get that the campaigns often have a lot of stages, and I think that's generally a good thing. But I feel like I'm kind of trapped inside of a campaign that I don't need to be trapped inside of, and maybe we could get into some of the other parts of the game a little bit sooner. All right, Wasteland unlocked. So 216 must have been the end of... Sir, we found traces left by Omar and immediately entered the Wastelands. Again, it would be really nice if I could click this thing that makes it look like I should be able to click it, but... Alright, so what is this? This is a new gameplay area that I hadn't seen. Wasteland. Alright, so it looks like we can get some more of those skill levels, some soul roulette. I'm not sure what that is. That's some kind of recruiting, and that looks like maybe you're recruiting better heroes. Alright, so let's do this and find out what this is. Alright, so it's another linear path, but let's see what it adds. I've just marked all the places we can go. It looks like we kind of go through this kind of canyon valley thing. We found a large cache of resources. Good, alright. I really want to click the... but it won't let me. Because I'm tutorial locked. From the ruins of the Wasteland, we have discovered a large cache, a large number of soul potions, which can be unlocked more talents. It doesn't really use to activate hero talents obtained from Wasteland and shop. What is this? Wasteland coin. All right, so this is a currency specifically for the Wasteland that we use in the Wasteland shop. And this is just a goodly chunk of hero experience. Good. Okay. There's a team of mercenaries stationed here. Perhaps we can persuade them to join us. All right, so there's 4 options. It's telling me to take this one. Oh, that's Omar. Omar the War God. Okay. Omar summons 2 bombers to carpet bomb the area, dealing 240% attack damage. Okay, that sounds pretty strong. Omar is also an elite. Okay. So we'll choose that one. We found traces of small groups of enemies around the Wasteland. Be on guard. Now, do I get to keep Omar, or is he just here for this sort of part of the game? Just this little plus makes me think he's just here for a little while. I don't actually get to keep him. So this is where we're going to show off Omar. So what is good about Omar? Well, at the moment, he's just kind of shooting stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, I want to see these carpet bombers, though. All right. What is it? Another cache of stuff? Okay, so far I like the Wasteland. It gives away free stuff. Ooh, shop. What does the shop do? Oh, I have to get quite a bit further in the story. That's a little weird. I don't know how I feel about that, right? I'm glad that I'm in the Wasteland. Apparently I'm picking up currency that I can use for stuff, but I don't know what it actually does because I'm doing the Wasteland and picking up the currency before I can actually use the currency. That seems a little awkward to me, like maybe a little bit backwards. What about relics? What does this do? To enable a relic, well, I don't have anything, so I don't know what it does. Maybe I'll learn that, though. We found traces of small groups of enemies around the Wasteland. Be on guard. All right, I will be on guard. So we just blow these up. Ooh. Okay. So he has some little helpers which come in and nuke stuff. That's cool. It's a good mechanic. More stuff. It's just kind of giving me free stuff. I'll take it. This looks like it's going to be a fight. Inconspicuous small ruin located in the Wasteland. Relics can also be found. Often be found here. Okay, so this is what relics are. So I can choose items. Presumably, These only last through this particular area, and presumably it allows me to power up as the opponents get stronger and stronger. Okay, so we'll choose that. Gives us additional 50 energy. Click on this relic screen. Main energy should be enough to help us complete the exploration. It's been assembled and can help us in battle. Okay, so it looks like I can have a total of six relics. I've only got one, but that's pretty cool. I like, presumably in other similar types of adventures later, we'll have to pick and choose what we want to use, and we won't be able to use everything that we find. It's also possible maybe I get to keep this after the adventure. That would also be cool. Elite squad of enemies. Okay, good thing we found that relic. Again, my problem isn't good thing we found the relic. It's that I didn't. It's linear, right? Although these games often have kind of you find stuff and then you've got to find it a bunch of times because the random number generator prevents you from finding the one with the best possible stats or the best possible rarity. So I guess that's okay. This looks like another supply cache. Good. More of that soul rubelite. Boss. Deadly enemies are blocking our way. We won't be able to leave without defeating them. Well, I could hit the return button, but I won't. I get what they're saying. Okay. So we're facing two Oases. Well, I don't think... I guess, is that guy the boss there? No? Nobody... Was there no boss? Because none of those were hard. It didn't feel epic at all. But I did... Ooh, I got another one of these. What is this? Wasteland Pass Points. The more points you accumulate, the greater the rewards you can unlock. Obtained by defeating the boss of the Wasteland. And then this is an advanced recruitment card. Good. And then more of the goodies for leveling up. Level complete. Okay. Okay. So you can only do this every 12 hours, once a day. I'm not sure. And then there are additional little adventures like this that as we unlock campaign will become available to us. Very cool. I like that. Commander Omar has escaped and its data status is not making any sense. Well, I thought we rescued him. Why did he need to escape? I don't get it. Keep at it. Maybe Old Bailey is right after all. Right about what? Again, I feel like I'm not paying close attention to... I'm not paying close attention to the story. So I think that's as far as I'm going to go today. This video got quite long. Maybe I'll edit it down a little bit and post since it gives my first impressions. But at a very high level, I'm intrigued. I may play the game a little bit more. It reminds me of other gacha games, but I think the sci-fi aspect is cool. I think there's a lot of potential with the design space on the combats where positioning matters. You've got to choose some angles and some, how you want to deploy your damage, which I think is cool. And since I, generally like the gacha mechanics to begin with, this has a lot of those. So, yeah, all in all, I think it's worth continuing on, and maybe at some point I'll do a full, an actual review on it. But I thought I would just play it a little bit and see how it was.